Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys. And I'm your astrologer. My name is Donald Pitak. There's my contact information, standard YouTube copyright. No, my content may not be used to train AI LLMs. And I apologize, my voice is just a little raw. Getting over a migraine, and my hand is still messed up. So this week's forecast is going to be very similar to last week's. My hand is still just a little messed up and it's hard to edit everything. So it's going to be similar to last week's where I do not have the individual slides, but I'm working with my master slide, moving things around. And I do read astrology just a little bit differently. So if you're not familiar with it, just brief overview. I read what is called constellation-based or true sidereal astrology. This is astrology by the visible sky. Tropical astrology fixed the signs to seasons way back around 200 AD. Well, we get our astrological ages from where the sun rises on the spring equinox because the constellations do move very slowly through the sky. Winds up being a full degree every 72 years, so 1/72nd of a degree every year. So the constellations do move, gives us our astrological ages. So yes, the sky has changed, and I read it in the modern sky. And using the visible sky, I have 13 signs. Between Scorpio and Sagittarius, there's the symbol of a fucus. Symbol is of a person holding a snake by the head and the tail. Snake in ancient times symbolized knowledge. So what you have there is holding it by the head and tail. You're controlling and using knowledge, ideally to bring in healing into your life and the lives of others. Also, with using the visible sky, I'm using the natural size of the constellations. There are astrologers who will make every constellation the same size, and in reality, they are all over the place. Scorpio, no, not Scorpio, not brain. The kittens are playing, I'm distracted, and my hand is still bothering me. Virgo is nearly 50 degrees in the sky, just under around 49 degrees. But you get Scorpio, Fucus, Aries, Cancer individually, Libra, they're less than 25 degrees. The constellations are all different sizes, and I honor and respect that. And instead of the IAU boundaries, which are arbitrarily drawn and can put stars from one constellation into another constellation, I use astrological midpoints, which do a better job of keeping stars in their original constellation. Keys to the reading, part 2. I interpret using evolutionary astrology, which says that the transits are lessons to learn. And in that, one of the key points of evolutionary astrology is that you have freedom of choice. You can choose to learn the lesson, or you can choose to do something else. Depends what you want to do with it. I'm almost curious what the kittens are doing over there. It sounds like they're having a lot of fun. This is the weekly edition. So these are universal lessons for everyone. So do have some compassion on your fellow ground pounders, earth travelers, whatever you want to call people. My dates and times are based on the Eastern U.S. time zone, as I am outside of Buffalo, New York. I'm operating within 1 degree of exact. That makes it manageable for me. Because if I'm overwhelmed, you're lost. And that's typically what other astrologers do. I kind of give into that. And the software that I'm using is Capricorn by Prometheus, which will be re-released soon through the ISAA. More information on that as I get it. So let's take a look at what we have here. The week of May 4th through May 10th. And for you Star Wars fans, may the 4th be with you. The sun is in Aries, so it's learning to have courage. We do have the moon, starts in Scorpio, moves through Aquarius. Not as busy as it sounds because it moves from Scorpio into a fucus on Monday morning. And we have a longish transit in Sagittarius. So And Capricorn and Aquarius do take a little more time to go through. So reasonable, it's a reasonable moon week. We do have the last quarter moon on May 9th at 5:58 p.m. Eastern time. Our active planet of the week is Mercury. So be open to learning, opportunities for learning communication, and having the courage to do so. No sign changes this week and no long transits, which for me are outer planets in aspect to each other. However, we are adding a planet to our retrograde list this week. Pluto is entering station retrograde on Tuesday. So we'll have a long Pluto retrograde transit here. So let's look at our week. Let me get my doodle tool ready here. And I'm going to start, as I always do, with the moon. We do start with the moon in Scorpio. I said Monday morning it enters a fucus. Tuesday afternoon it's in Sagittarius. And it goes into Friday morning in Sagittarius. And then, from Sagittarius into Capricorn. And then Sunday morning, it goes into Aquarius, and that's where we'll end our week. So the moon is actually much more stable than it sounds. Not much I want to say about that, but we do have our last quarter moon on Saturday at 5:58 p.m. So that'll be a interesting lunar day to experience. Let me clear that out. Apologize if I'm sounding a little under the weather. I'm just getting over a brutal migraine from yesterday, and from Friday, I was just beat exhausted from work. I don't think that helped me any. Our busy day of the week is going to be Tuesday with everything that's going on. Just plain and simple. You have the moon entering Sagittarius. You do have the Mercury transits, and then you also have Pluto going station retrograde. So as you can see, Tuesday is the busy day of the week by far. I mean, that's all our action. And we won't really see another transit until Saturday with the sun and Jupiter. As they did say, I always do this, Mercury is our planet of the week because we do have those three transits. Of the new transits that we have, those are our three new transits. Everything above this line is from last week. So, and everything below the line is from this week. So as you can see, we do have those three Mercury transits, making Mercury kind of the influential planet of the week. Kittens are running around nuts. I apologize for that. I do like my cats. I just wish they wouldn't attack my hand viciously. So Tuesday is going to be the busy day of the week, and that will fuel a busy midweek. You can expect everything to be over by Thursday and get a little bit of a breather Friday before we begin new transits on Saturday. All drawings. Okay, and let me see if I can do this. Oh no, I gotta close this out. Click on this, and there we go. Like I say, trying to edit those individual slides is really bad when you don't have full use of your hand. It's still infected and swollen. I gotta go see the doctor and get it drained again. So yeah, Joyce. So let's see. Let me start with last week. We do have Mercury. Pull this up if I can. Okay, it's not going to let me. Oh, there we go. So we do have Mars in Pisces in a square to Jupiter. Mars is Pisces. You can call it the spiritual warrior if you want, but having that spiritual courage or the courage to be present, courage to be in the moment. The spirituality teaches you one thing: there is no tomorrow, there is no yesterday, there is only today, here, now. I like the way Ram Dass said it: be here, be now. It's the only time you do have. So I do like that. And a square is a challenge whose purpose is to strengthen you. So, what is this strengthening you to do? To have the opportunity to learn. Jupiter opportunity is a great way of looking at that. And in Gemini, learning and communication. So, if you're being spiritually present, spiritually aware, this is opening the door for you to be able to learn and communicate what learn new information and communicate. It's building your confidence as well. Another way of looking at it. And lead to success. Now, the shadow here, shadow of Mars is fear, and that can come out as anger or cowardice, and it's in Pisces. So literally, you're falling into this fearful-filled fantasy. And instead of a square strengthening you, it's a stumbling block. It fuels a crisis of confidence. Now, this can be overconfidence or underconfidence. And in Gemini, instead of being able to learn, it's being distracted from learning, messing with your ability to learn, messing with your ability to communicate, being distracted, being unfocused. So falling into those fears is just fueling that crisis of confidence and just making a big mess and all that. So let me clear that. Clear, close. And then I'm just going to go, in the interest of making it a little bit easier for me to deal with. There it goes. Zoom kind of messes with things a little bit. Come on, you can come up here. There we go. Alrighty. Get my doodle tool. And this is where all these Mercury transits are happening. There's a lot with Mercury. Mercury in Aries, the courage to learn. And it's going to start with Pluto in Capricorn, but then Pluto is going to go retrograde. So having the courage to learn, how is that strengthening your ability to do the work of inner transformation and deep inner healing? And then as Pluto goes retrograde, which I will cover shortly, you could ask the question, is what you're learning helping you to transform? Is it helping you to grow? Is it helping you to heal? The shadow here is falling into fear. I forgot to do Monday. I forgot to do Moon. I'll jump back to that. That's falling into fear. And instead of that helping you to heal, leads to nihilism, leads to cynicism. Leads to nihilism, leads to cynicism, worrying, loneliness, and isolation. Secondly, we do have that sextile to, sextile to the North Node. So having the courage to learn is creating an interest in you fulfilling your destiny. So you can look at what you're learning and how is that helping you to fulfill your destiny. The shadow is, again, falling into that fear, either that anger or cowardice. And instead of that helping you fulfill your destiny, become nervous and sabotaging your destiny, denying it, working against it. And then we have the trine to the South Node in Leo. So again, having that courage to learn, how is that supporting your becoming more aware of how you hold yourself down and back with pointless drama? Oops. Hello, Mittens. Take a seat, buddy. How is what you're learning helping you to become aware of how you hold yourself back with pointless drama and helping you to stand aside and stand away from it? No, stay off the computer. Curiosity doesn't kill the cat. I will pick you up and put you on the floor gently, though. No, they're in the climbing mode. So the shadow here is falling into fear, And that fuels past dramas and pointless conflicts and reliving the past. And instead of overcoming it and realizing that self-sabotage, you actually fulfill that, you actually create the sabotage and create the problems that hold you down and hold you back. So that's a lot in one day, because you are working with the nodes and you are working with Pluto, and in what way that can help you. Now I'm going to erase this, clear all drawings, clear all drawings, and go back to here. There we go. And then I'll hit our lunar transit here because I forgot to cover that. Monday, the moon's in a fucus. So this is emotionally, and this is the waning transit because we just got over that wonderful full moon. So this is about learning to heal and release wounds. It's more about the releasing. You learned how to heal them, and now it's time to just let them go and move on from them. That's the ideal. The shadow here, and be open to teachers who can help you to heal. The shadow here is, instead of healing and releasing the wounds, you're reliving them and using the knowledge that you have. Instead of healing the wounds, use them to wound yourself and wound others more deeply. And then we move on Tuesday. Is that in there? There we go. Yes. We move on Tuesday into Sagittarius. So after you heal those wounds, the goal is to get up, go out, and embrace new experiences, like having two kittens climb on over you. I really should do cat astrology. So you're open for new experiences. So things you did in the past that may have interested you, you can let them go, move on to something new. What is interesting? What is exciting you? The shadow here is defending the status quo, doing what you do today, because that's exactly what you did yesterday. I do not want a cat walking across my computer. Creates more problems than it's worth. It's defending the status quo and doing the same thing today and tomorrow, because that's what you did yesterday, and it can fuel boredom. And this is one of the little kittens. I don't know if you can see it too well here. This is one of the little kittens. This is, whoops, let me hold you, guy. I got you. This is Mittens. I call him Mittens because he's got the white toes and he's got the white, yeah, he's got all the white toes. Yeah, he does have a little tuxedo mark, but I already have a cat called Tuxedo. And that was its mother, Kit, and I don't bother putting my hands on her because she gets all mom on me. So there's your little kitten commercial. Let's clear our drawings. So, and close that out. And so those are the energies, those Mercury energies where you're dealing with your destiny and dealing with transformation. That takes you through Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday. Friday, let me pull this back up here. Come on, we can do this. There we go. Friday, I believe it's Friday morning. There we go. Friday morning, we have the moon in Capricorn. So Friday is you're ready to take a challenge of updating skills. Your skills are a little old, outdated. Time to update them. Do something new, interesting, and exciting. Okay, no, Snowball. Please stay off my computer. Thank you. Okay, play with a piece of paper. Sorry. So it's time to update your skills, realizing that they're a little old, outdated. Blow the dust off of them, learn something new, take on that challenge. And through that, you'll gain a greater sense of self-confidence. You know, and Capricorn likes taking on a challenge because it's that sea goat. So it's taking this idea and going up that mountain and making it real. So it likes that challenge because it is the sea goat, and goats like climbing hills. The shadow here is you fall into being a little bit of a control freak. What I know is good enough, and you trying to control what you can't control, like situations or other people, and this fuels worry, loneliness, and isolation, and deep frustration. Close that out. Close this out. And Saturday, oh, perfect right there. Saturday, first we have the sun in Aries. Sun is almost out of Aries. I think next week it'll be in Taurus. Don't have my notes with me just yet. Is in a sextile here to Jupiter. So if we have an influential outer planet, it's Jupiter and then Pluto, secondly. But having that courage to be yourself is creating this interest in your community. You're creating this interest in the opportunity to learn and communicate. So learning more about who you are, or learning about more of what interests you, can create the opportunity for you to learn and explore things on a greater level. And this can fuel your confidence and fuel your self-confidence, fuel your self-worth. And this does open, Jupiter is about opportunity and possibilities. So this real focus here is on those opportunities and possibilities and having that courage to learn and courage to communicate as well. Now, the shadow here, the sun is the false ego, and that's falling into fear. And that's either anger or cowardice. So it can be the false ego in this situation is burning too bright or not burning bright enough to be seen. But that creates a sense of nervousness, and that fuels that sense of fear fuels a crisis of confidence. And it can be fueling overconfidence. I know what I'm talking about, don't you tell me, or underconfidence. I'm not really sure, even though you really are the go-to person. So that fear can fuel a crisis in confidence in your ability to learn, your ability to communicate, and it can be fuel distractions and also lead you towards meaningless accomplishments, just not being, doing, I don't want to say doing meaningless work, but taking on challenges that are too easy or defining success with way too low of a bar. So there's that. Clear that. No, actually, yeah, I'm going to clear that. Clear. And then at that same time, we have the last quarter moon in Capricorn. And that's a square. And let's remember that squares are challenges that are designed to strengthen you. So, oops, I'm getting a pop-up here. I'm going to do something really quick. Move that bar up there. So the moon in Capricorn is wanting to improve your skills or become more skilled, improve your skills, update your skills. And that is squaring. Remember here, square in the positive sense is a challenge is designed to strengthen you. And that's giving you the courage to be more of who you really are. So as you become more competent and more skilled, this strengthens your self-identity. Shadow here is falling into that fear-driven control freak, and that leads to stumbling into a different type of fear, or more one that's either anger or cowardice, and that also fuels the false ego. Either my skills are good enough, why do I have to update, or I'm never going to be good enough to update these skills, so why bother trying? And that becomes a stumbling block and a crushing burden. Yeah, and that worry and loneliness can also fuel fears as well. Let me close that out. Close this. And on Sunday, here we go, Sunday morning, there we go, that's a little bit better visible. We do have the moon entering Aquarius. So it's time to let go of what you feel is holding you down and back. Express feelings of independence and feelings of freedom, feelings of independence. Cut loose a little bit. Be who, Aquarius is about you being who you really are, you feeling your real feelings. So do take that time to feel what you're really feeling and get in touch with those emotions. The shadow here is selling yourself out to the expectations of the others in hopes of being accepted or fitting in. In reality, you're just being a phony. You're either acting out to get a reaction and to push people's buttons, or selling out to fit in. And either one is really not you. It's you pushing for a reaction. And those are our transits for the week. Clear all drawings, close that. And to minimize this, escape. Still haven't cleared those old drawings out. Oops. No. Still trying to get used to using like the wrong fingers and stuff, and I'm making horrible mistakes. So that's your week in an overview. Do follow me on social media. I am on Facebook. Wasn't as much on last week because I just got really busy and that migraine crept up on me and really slammed me hard. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. You're watching this on YouTube. On Facebook and Instagram, I do post my daily deep dives where I take these and explore them a little bit deeper. I'm also on the digital soul space. These first are making billions of dollars off your data, not giving you any of that money. Digital soul space is hosted on the mighty networks. And you control your data and how it gets used. There is you get a 30-day free trial, which gets you unlimited access to the whole site. And then after that, there's a fee. But 100% of the money that goes into that goes into maintaining the site and paying site costs. It's a really powerful site. I do astrology on there, but there's also tarots. People do talk about crystals, oracle cards, a wide variety of spiritual traditions, healing modalities, any sort of spiritual question. It's really an amazing place to be. There's 4 great moderators that keep it being a troll-free zone. I can't tell you how many times I've been trolled on these 3. Haven't been trolled once on DSS because if the moderator's got a question, they err on the side of caution. And yes, there have been people removed, so it's a wonderful place to be, a wonderful place to hang out. You don't know a question, you want to know the answer to a question, you post it, and people will share what they know. And it's a great place to be. I also do readings in packages. If you want to see how your chart changes from another astrological system to True Sky Sidereal, order the Quick 6. I talk about 6 key points of your chart that help you understand and get you started on your path. I do read the birth chart, or also called the natal chart. And in evolutionary astrology, this is your birth contract. It's not who you are, it's who you came here to become. So it's kind of like beginning with the end in mind. And ideally, this helps you understand who you came here to become and what your life's goals are. I do a karmic or a past life reading. The birth chart is based off the sun and the moon, etc. Karmic chart focuses on the nodes of the moon. And with that, if you believe in past lives, I can tell you the karma that was created in a past life and how it shows up in this lifetime. And then more important, just as important, how you can heal it. If you're a one and done, and there are people who are out there believe that, and I respect that, this is a special challenge or a special lesson that you came here to learn. And I also do horoscopes. So I do 1 year, any 12 months, any 3 months in a row, any 12 months in a row, any 3 months in a row, or any 1 month. And that can be new moon to new moon or any 30 days in a row. And I do offer packages which combine these other readings at different levels. Do check those out. So do like, follow, and share. Sign up for the newsletter. If you go to my website, you get a pop-up. All I need is an email address. You get a once a month newsletter or once a week newsletter that shares all these transits and additional insights before everyone else gets them. Also, there are bonuses and discounts there for you. If you missed that, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a black square box that says subscribe. You click on that. That's your newsletter sign up. And yeah, so do like, follow, share, sign up for the newsletter. I have a cat climbing on my shoulder. That's another one. I don't know if you can see him there. Let me turn it this way. No. There we go. Oh God, that's way too bright. There you go. This is Mitten's twin kitten. This one was named actually by one of the readers of my newsletter. I think it was Wit. I believe it was Wit. My memory is still a little fuzzy from the migraine. And it's named Onyx because it is basically all black. Can't remember if there's any white spots on it. So do like, follow, share, sign up for the newsletter. You got a lot of kitten commercials this week. Thank you very much. Remember, in the visible sky, your life changes. I love dyslexia. Have a great week, everyone. And Pluto retrograde. It's retrograde. Key thing there. It's about reflecting. Are you taking that opportunity? So have yourself the best week possible. Thank you very much.